Tyson didn't do enough work to win the fight. Winning is all that you need to do. Winning is what you must do.
Lennox, from such a small pool of people who have experienced what Tyson Fury did in the last Undisputed fight, the Sunday morning when he wakes up the next day and the Saturday of the rematch, what will he have lost by suffering his first professional defeat?
I think he would feel bad, and I think it would be a situation where it's like, oh man, I lost the first fight, and now, it's even going to be a little bit more difficult to win the second one, because if he won the first one, all he would have to do is do the same thing he did to win the second one.
One interesting thing that young Moses Itauma was saying to me the other day, that the 19-year-old is hoping to follow in yours and Tyson's footsteps, is he wakes up with a loser's mindset. And if you want to be a champion, thinking like a loser is often more beneficial than waking up and feeling like a champion.
That's interesting.
I suppose that just is coming down to hunger.
Yeah,
you want to get it back.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he's been in these situations before, and he's come out of the situation, so he knows how to get out of the situation. Like, if I would have woke up a loser, I'm like, yo, what did I do wrong? I need to go back to the drawing board and fix it.
In the defeats that you suffered and avenged, they were essentially huge one-punch stoppages, and that can happen in this division more than any other.
Absolutely.
And largely, the better boxer in the heavyweight division wins the rematch.
Right.
But Tyson wasn't knocked spark out by a single Hail Mary shot.
Right.
Usyk was very, very good for a number of the rounds. How different do you believe that is? Do you think you would have had more difficult rematches if you had been outboxed rather than just caught?
Listen, when I seen the fight, I went back to watch me and Holyfield fight, and I said, well, what's so different? What was the difference between, me and Holyfield? We both wanted it. We're both smart fighters. It's just who, takes that round. You gotta make sure that you win most of the rounds and not lose most of the rounds. It's all about winning each round and making sure that you win them. And it's just hard putting in the work. You can't dance around and expect to win a round. You got to do the work to win the round. So for me, Tyson didn't do enough work to win the fight. So he let a couple rounds off. And, there was one situation in the 9th round where he got hit in the nose. And I thought it affected his breathing. And it did affect him to a certain degree, because he started dancing around. He was wiping his nose. And it showed me that one punch affected him. And that's how boxing is, that, you could go in there, you could get hit in the belly, and then you have to take, a round off. And that round that you take off, you've lost when it comes to the judges. So it's all about being smart, seizing the moment at the time, and making sure that you win the rounds. There's different things you can do to make sure you win the rounds. More work, making it look like that you're doing a lot of work, scoring, pressure, all these different things judges are looking at, and you got to make sure that you please them.
I know that it sounds, when it comes from you, it's different, but when idiots like me say that Fury just has to be more assertive, use his height and his weight, that's much easier to say than it is to do. And also that sort of approach, if it was so easy, AJ would have done it twice, and Wally would have done it. And also Usyk, having come up from the cruiserweights, been 14 stone 4, that having a big guy just walking at him is paradise for him. Fury even said it, that's Christmas. If I just hold my hands up and walk at him in a straight line, that's Christmas come early. Yeah,
there's different ways to win a fight. You can walk towards a guy and put up your hands, or you can make him come to you, and but he's trying to hit you, but you hit him because he has to come to you. Fury has great movement, and he's elusive, and he's got a good jab. These are the things that he needs to use. He needs to use all his talent, all his gifts to win a fight. So when I see him playing around in the first couple rounds, that to me, he's not serious, and he's giving away rounds for no reason.
What do you think the impact is of this not being for the Undisputed again? I appreciate it's 4 belts now, and
Yeah.
they always seem to add one on. But even if he wins, he is not what you were and what Usyk became. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure that the IBF could be done relatively quickly the way Turkey manoeuvres everything,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be the same.
No, I mean, in the minds of a lot of people, this is for the Undisputed. It doesn't matter if they took away a belt or not. This is the Undisputed fight. These are the 2 top guys boxing for the Undisputed. And, even though all the belts are not going to be there, the public opinion is that, yeah, the winner is the Undisputed champion of the world.
What do you think the potential psychological impact is of Anthony Joshua has not taken the Dubois rematch? We understand it's because he's just going to sit tight and wait to fight Fury. Now, in Fury's mind, is that wonderful that he knows that win, lose or draw, he's got potentially the biggest fight in British boxing history of modern times? Or is that a bad distraction to have in your head?
I say it's a bad distraction to have in your head. My goal would be just getting the Undisputed championship first before thinking about anything else. That is my goal, especially the fact that he's 1 down. And, for him, winning this fight is very important for him. And I know what he's thinking, because he's there, but he's not there. He'll be there, but he has to work for it.
If Tyson wins, is the only fight you would want to see the trilogy? Because I do get the impression that even if Tyson wins, that they just want AJ and Tyson made. But do you think if that happens and it's 1-1, that there's got to be the third?
Yeah, they've got to be a trilogy, 1-1. You got to have a third one just to decide and it's going to be exciting as well because these guys, Tyson Fury loves that trilogy aspect, 3 fights. And, he's lost the first one, so he's looking to win the second one. If he wins the second one, then obviously, there's got to be a third one, because, that's how it is.
And my paper's just asked me to do a bit of a profile on Turki Alalshikh, and I see a lot of the journalists perhaps a bit too effusive with their praise about, he's such a huge boxing fan. But when I see some of the small things that he does do, he has you around, and I believe it looks like he listens to you. Colin Hart, our Sun reporter, he was the last living man to have been at Rumble in the Jungle, and when he wasn't coming Undisputed, Turkey got in there. He wanted to learn from him, and the small fighters from England, we've had plasterers from Portsmouth, we've had an electrician from Doncaster. They're getting the shots. They don't sell bundles of tickets. They're not big names.
Right.
I'm sure you can't give away what sort of man Turkey is. He seems very private. But do you see that underneath it all, and the money and the razzmatazz, there is a real boxing fan there?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. He loves boxing to the degree that, he's wondering, well, what's happening? How comes UFC is getting more? And, boxing needs a push, and boxing did need the push, and he's given the push a great positive push for boxing. He wants to make fights cinematic, he wants to put on the best fights, and he wants to, put on the best shows. So he's doing that, and he's helping out boxing in a terrific way in which boxing needs it. It needed that push from Turki Alalshikh, and, I'm glad that he's doing it. I'm happy to go to all these big fights and see these big shows. This is what boxing needs.
That's one point I've tried to make in this piece, is that you coined the term politics. You know that fights and fighters can avoid things with broadcast deals, rematch clauses, mandatory commitments.
Right.
Turkey's ripped them up, essentially.
Oh, absolutely. All the things that was holding boxing back, a lot of times these guys didn't want to fight the top guys. Well, he's putting it in a good situation that the top guys are getting together, are fighting, putting on good shows, not just one big fight at the end. You got 3 big fights in one. So yeah, this is what boxing needs, and I'm glad that he's here helping out boxing.
I'll ask you two more questions before I
Yes.
leave you alone. You're Tyson Fury's head trainer. What's the last message you give to him before he walks out on Saturday?
Use your skill, use your gifts, and go out there and win. Don't fool around. Be so serious that you want to go in there and search and destroy and win. Winning is all that you need to do. Winning is what you must do.
You are Oleksandr Usyk's trainer, and your Ukrainian is perfect. What's your last message to him as you send him out?
Probably stay on his, you know, cut off the ring. You know, say that same thing to him again. Tyson, I will be there.